Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Corpus and I'm one of the band directors at Paredes Middle School. Today I'm going to be going over the French horn. So if you're interested in the French horn, you'll get to learn a little bit about the history and you'll get to see a performer as well. So let's go ahead and begin. So the first thing before we get into the embouchure is I wanted to go over what the French horn's family, where it comes from. So basically the French horn belongs to the brass family. Okay, now what the brass family is it is a combination of the trumpet, the French horn itself, the trombone, the baritone or euphonium, and the tuba. So that is your brass family. We also have another family in band, which is also the woodwind family, which is made up of the which is made up of the flute, oboe, clarinet, bassoon, and the saxophone. And then we also have the percussion family as well. So yeah, so a lot of information, but all I want for you to take from that is the French horn belongs to the brass family. Okay, so now the embouchure. We will get into this later once you start learning French horn in your classes. Embouchure is a French word which means the shape that we make as a musician, as a wind player, to create the sound, okay? So if you play French horn, it might be something like this, okay? So I'm going to just play a brief video about it, and then we'll move on to the next one.
How is your mouthpiece supposed to be on your embouchure? What's the percentage? Do you remember?
20, no, 70?
Does that add up?
20, 75. Wait, no, that don't. 25, 75? 70, 30.
All right, so what part is 70%?
70 is your top lip, and then 30 is your bottom lip.
There you go.
Yeah, so what they're talking about here is the percentage of the lip that needs to be covered by the mouthpiece, okay? So for French horn, it is 70% of the top lip and 30% of the bottom lip. Now what that means is once you put the mouthpiece on your lip, most of the mouthpiece is going to be on the top lip and the least is going to be on the bottom of the lip, okay? So if I was to go back to the beginning of the video, I believe there's it's not there anymore. But, there we go. Okay, so you see this ring right here? That's what they're talking about. So the ring would be the mouthpiece itself, and you see how it's more on the top than the bottom lip. That's what they're talking about. So that's placement of the mouthpiece, I guess you should say. Okay. And now the next thing we're going to be talking about is buzzing. Okay, buzzing, what it is it's just the vibration of the lips when you are pushing the air out of your mouth. So when we breathe in, we take a big full breath, we sit up nice and tall, take a big full breath from down below where our diaphragm is, and then we push the air out. So set, breathe, and then you push out immediately. You don't want to hold your breath, okay? So I'll show you a brief video about buzzing.
All right, let's get to it. Let's talk about buzzing. Buzzing is how us brass players get a sound to come out of the horn. Now, to start off, I'm going to demonstrate how to buzz with just your lips. Take your lips, press them together, and then blow through to make a buzzing sound. So I took my lips, close them together, say and then blow through. Do not hum. This is not buzzing. I've seen that. That's not buzzing. You want to blow through and get the noise to come through your lips and part them open. Like that. All right. That's step one. Now you want to take your mouthpiece and place it in the correct embouchure. If you don't know what that is, check out my embouchure video. I'll link it above and below.
So remember in the other video she was talking about 70-30, that's what she's talking about.
Put it on your mouth in the correct embouchure, 70-30. Put your lips together and do the same thing.
Okay, so yeah, that's just a brief introduction about buzzing, just vibrating the lips with the mouthpiece on your lips, okay? Let's move on to the next one. So this is case assembly and posture. This is a very long video, but we will go more into detail about this later on in our next lessons. But for now, since you're just getting to know the instrument, it is very important that you set up and you care for your instrument the way the director teaches you how to do that. So we will go over how to lay the instrument on the ground properly, how to open the case properly, and how to assemble the instrument properly without causing damage, or we also don't want to drop it on the floor as well. So this video, we'll go over it later, but just keep that in mind for when you play French horn, okay? Or any instrument. You want to make sure that you keep it safe, okay? Now, for this next video, it's how to empty water from the horn. Water, we don't put water in there like actual water. We're talking about condensation. So when you play any instrument, but especially a brass instrument, your hot air that is going into the instrument is going to cause condensation with the coldness of the instrument itself. So it will your condensation will be water, okay, essentially. So it'll all the water starts to develop into the instrument, and then you start to get a gargling sound, if you must say, with brass instruments. Let's go ahead and take a little brief look of this video so you can understand what I'm talking about.
What you want to do is take out your mouthpiece, because sometimes spit can come out of the lead pipe here, and you do not want that going through your mouthpiece because it gets in your mouth and ew. Next thing you want to do is you want to take it, turn once towards the bell, turn one more time towards the bell, and when it's upside down like this, take out your big tuning slide. Take out your big tuning slide, pull it out, and dump it. Just...
So on purpose, I took the nasty part out of that with all this bit falling out. But so yeah, so that's what they're doing. They're trying to get rid of that condensation. And as you can see, they turned it towards the bell. The reason why they do this is so like, because as you can see, the French horn is it's the piping is round. So we need to make sure that all that water goes all the way through the pipe and out where the mouthpiece was. Okay, so just make sure that we keep that in mind. Now, a brief history lesson about the French horn. I'm just going to play a little bit of this video and then we will move on to the next slide. Okay.
Joseph Leutgeb. The horn had changed considerably from how it had been at the beginning of the century. The Baroque horn from the early part of the century tended to be made in one loop, in one fixed key. It had a small bell, was played with the hand out of the bell, and the notes that were available to the player tended to lie very high up. As the harmonics got closer together, high up, that's where they all were in order to be able to play tunes. And with minimal adjustment, either with the hand or the lip, it was possible to get a reasonable series of notes out. Now this all began to change around the middle of the 18th century, and horns started to develop.
Yeah, so the French horn, as you can see in this video, it started off with nothing. Like when I say nothing, I mean no keys on the instrument, or trigger. So it was just a long pipe. But now it's developed in time, and we'll go over all of that more in later lessons. Okay. But yeah, so brass instruments used to look like just the piping that you see here, and then it developed into having valves and keys and all that. Oops, excuse the burping sound there. Now we're going to watch a brief video of how the French horn really sounds. Okay, so here's one performance of that. Okay, and so that was There we go. That was just one performance out of the many that are out there. And this, I like that particular piece. It has a groove to it, definitely. Let's see. And that's all I have for the French horn. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. My email is luis.corpus@austinisd.org. So if you have any questions about the French horn, please feel free to email me, and I'll be more than happy to work with you. Y'all take care, and I'll see you in band class. Have a great one.